Good morning, everyone. Happy Canada Day. My name is Adrian, and today we'll be going through a nice stretch and release. A little bit of everything today, especially focusing on posture, mid-back, maybe even a little bit on the glutes. Let's get started. Let's adjust this here. As you can see, we have some gymnastics equipment behind us because camp's started in full swing, but not today. We're gonna start off, palms face up, thinking tailbone aligned with the roller, head and shoulders aligned as well. We're gonna start with our palms face up, think shoulders low, stretching up and down. Slowly working through any kind of tension right along the chest and shoulders. And slow, deep breaths. We're gonna be here for at least about 20 more seconds, just really taking our time. We're not in any rush. And slow, deep breaths. You hear a pop or a crack, that's fine too, that's normal. Good, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect, from here we're just gonna warm up our mid-back. Let's roll her sideways. The nice thing about this floor is that I don't have to worry about any kind of padding. It's all padded for me. Here, crossing our arms, focusing on just working out through our mid-back, just massaging out any kind of knots. So just been doing a lot of back work, a lot of rowing, all that good stuff. About 10 more seconds, 10, 9. And 3, 2, and 1. All right, now we're gonna warm up our glutes. We're gonna use the roller. Just a general body warm up. Just gotta check something here quickly. Sorry, one moment. Okay. Great, so having a seat on the roller, whichever side you're targeting, I want that same leg to go up. So for me, if I'm targeting my left glute, my left leg is gonna go on top of my right. Like so. The goal here is to work back and forth, right along any kind of tension in the glute. If you want, you can also use a hockey ball or a lacrosse ball. Slowly working through any kind of tension. And slow, deep breaths. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So here when you're working the other side, it's good to notice if you have any kind of extra tension or if one side's a lot worse than the other. You can also adjust your angle. You can lift that knee up, you can point that knee down, whatever works for you. Good, about 20 more seconds, 20. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from here we roll our quads. We're just gonna get a full body warm up and then we're gonna do some deep stretching with just our bodies. So here warming up our quads, this is where we can experiment. We can turn our feet out 45 degrees, turn them in 45 degrees, or just keep them neutral. I'm going to back up a little bit here. Starting right on the quads, just working through any kind of tension along here. Think slow, deep breaths. So working along any kind of tension. If you want to continue your feet out, turn your feet in, whatever works for you. We'll be here for at least a minute and a half. So feel free to take your time. Work through whatever you got going on. Almost a minute left. And here I'm taking it pretty slow. My goal isn't to rush through any movement, no matter what stretch or roll we're doing. I want to see if we can really just dig in to any musculature that's tight or that feels restricted. And may actually change position here. If you want to change halfway, that's fine too. If you're braver than I am, you can also do one side at a time. That one's quite difficult, but feel free to experiment one side at a time as well. Excellent, about 30 seconds. And 5, oh, not yet, sorry. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Ooh. Now we're going to do the inner thigh. Then we'll go for personal favorite, the shins and the calves. As that will be mostly loosened up. So here, let's start with the inner thigh. Hips square towards the ground, one leg up. Avoid your ankle being in front. You want to keep it above as best you can. So avoid your ankle kind of being in front of your other knee. When your ankle past the roller, hips square towards the ground, rolling from our groin right to the side of the knee. So keeping those hips square to the ground. Try to keep that knee up nice and high. Same with that ankle. When you find a hold in a particular spot, like right in the groin or right beside the knee, that's fine too. Work with whatever you got. You can kind of choose your area. There's no right spot. It's whatever you feel. We're going to be here for about 30 more seconds or so. Just take your time sinking into it. Good. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right. Hip square. Other side. And here it doesn't matter if you hang it near the side of your knee or the groin. Work with whatever you got. About 20 more seconds, just slowly sinking in. For me, I'm tighter near the groin, so I'm going to hang it there for a bit, but you work whatever length of your inner thigh that you want. About 10 seconds left. 10. And 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming off. Okay. From here, we're gonna roll our shins and then our calves. Two great areas. By great, I mean potentially painful. So here, starting just above our knees, sorry, just below your knees, we're gonna cross our shins. Whichever side is on the bottom is the side we're targeting. So for me, my right side, my right calf is below my left. So I'm gonna lean to the right. While my hips at about a 45-degree angle, I'm gonna roll right from just above my ankle to right along the outer third of my shin. So what that looks like, my shins are straight, so keep rolling, but my shins are straight here. I'm gonna roll on the outer third. So on the outer third, right along there. If you know your anatomy, that's called your tibialis anterior. It can also be called your ow, why, and that hurts. I'll find names for it. Something to avoid here as well, avoid crinkling your toes or kind of flexing your feet just for the sake of kind of wincing through the pain. Try to keep them as relaxed as you can. About 15 more seconds on this side. Just really taking it in. You can hold in a particular spot or you can roll the full range of motion. Entirely up to you. And 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. So crossing your legs over. You may notice that one side's a lot easier than the other. It's pretty normal. Very few people are perfectly symmetrical. Definitely not me. Keep going, about 20 more seconds. Good. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Last but not least, we're going for the calves. So here, I have pretty tight calves, so I'm just going to do one thing at a time. One calf at a time, but I'll show you the other variations. So here, we can either go for both, lifting our hips up, going back and front. We can do one at a time with ourselves being raised, or like me, if you have really tight calves, you may want to just place one calf on, use the weight of your top leg, and that's enough just to slowly massage through. Excellent. About 15 more seconds on this side. And so for me, I feel it enough just to hold it. But if you want to roll back and forth, you absolutely can. And 3, 2, 1. Good. And here, the other side. For me, again, I feel it even just resting my calf on the roller, but everyone's different. So you work with whatever you got, whether it's both legs on top, one leg down, or like me, just resting is enough. Just to feel the tension. Of course, you can adjust it like so, as you can see from my left leg. You can put the roller wherever you like. So for me, I feel it most in what's called my soleus, which is kind of my jumping, sprinting muscle, or my walking on my toes muscle. So that's perpetually tight for me. So that's why I kind of have it on the slightly angled out. About 13 seconds. And 10, 9, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So here we warmed ourselves up with the roller quite a bit. We're gonna do some extra mobility. This one I'm gonna grab a towel just because I'm gonna be face down, or at least into the gymnastics mat. All right, I'm just going to check something very quickly here. One moment. Okay. So here, we're going to lie face up. We're going to do some bit of glute med stretching, some pulling in through. And just give me one moment. I'm going to pause the recording here for a second. All right, welcome back. Sorry for that brief interruption. Here we're going to lie face up. And then, sorry, I have to manage all this hair now. We're going to have one leg up. We're going to pull across the body and work into our glute med. And here you want to feel it right along the side, maybe a little bit in our low back, but mostly ideally in the side of our hip / glute. Maybe 20 more seconds. Three, two, one. Easing off. And we're going to switch sides. I'm just going to reset the timer here. Great. Okay. Other side. So keeping our shoulders low, thinking neck nice and long. Pulling across the body. You may hear a pop or a crack or something going on in your spine. That's normal. Don't try to force any movement. Just try to go as far as your body allows. We're going to be here for at least 35 more seconds. Put 10 more seconds to go. 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. And from here, we're actually going to do what's called an internal rotation stretch. This is going to look a little funny, but lying face up, we're going to take one ankle. We're going to place it on the outside of the other knee. So for me, for example, my left ankle is going to go on the outside of my right knee. From there, I'm going to lengthen my right leg a little bit. I'm going to rotate towards the inside. Actually, I'm not sure from a different angle. So here. So now I'm switching legs. So my right ankle is on the outside of my left knee. And from here, my left leg is going to rotate a bit. So you lengthen a bit, and then I'm going to rotate it away. Actually, may make more sense if I'm showing you standing. So here, you're still doing this lying down, but my right ankle is coming on the inside of my, so on the outside of my left leg, and my left leg is going to lengthen and then rotate this way while my torso stays neutral. If none of this is making sense, I'm sorry. Do your best. So once again, I'm going to show you, as you can see it from the outside angle, my right ankle is going the outside of my left knee, and my left knee is going to be pointed towards my right side, or my knee is turning inward. And my top leg is assisting in that rotation. And you're going to feel a stretch right along here and a little bit in the groin. This is doing what's called an internal stretch or internal rotation stretch. So about 15 more seconds here, then we're going to try the other way. Trying to keep your torso neutral with the ceiling. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and ease off. So same thing, but the other way. So for me now, my left ankle is going to go on the outside of my right knee. My right knee is going to point towards the left, and my top ankle is going to help press that down and rotate it. So what we're doing is we're trying to stretch it through internal rotation. About 15 seconds here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Easing off. Now, since we both did internal rotation, now we're going to do external rotation, which is just rotating our knees out, going for a groin stretch. So our first groin stretch, we're going to do actually lying on the ground. We're going to put our feet together, shoulders back. We try to just let that open. We can actually lift our glute up, squeeze, and push our knees down towards the ground, or to hold this for 20 seconds. We're going to come up and do that butterfly stretch for an additional 35 seconds. You try to open up through the groin. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then from here, we're going to come up and go for that second groin stretch. So feet together, shoulders low. Trying to push those knees down and avoid bouncing them. You can bounce them for fun up here, but once you get into the stretch, avoid bouncing. And then pulling in as best we can, using your arms to help pull ourselves in. Avoid any kind of hunching. That doesn't actually help. Big shoulders low, pulling in with a tall spine and pushing those knees down towards the ground. We got at least 30 seconds left here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. From here, we're gonna do a little bit of hip flexor and then some abdominal. So for the hip flexor, we're gonna go in that lunge position. So we go hip flexor, hamstring, and glutes, and then we're gonna go for some abdominal stretching. So lunge pattern here. This knee rotated out, core pulled in, glute squeezed, and we're trying to shove their whole pelvis forward, so I feel a nice stretch in our groin, and then and the top of our thigh. About 25 seconds here. Think slow, deep breaths the whole time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now going for hamstring, heel dug in, shoulders back, leaning forward. Going for a nice hamstring stretch. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, we're gonna go for a half pigeon pose. Here, I'm gonna try to keep my leg parallel, but you don't have to. You do whatever works for you. If you need to bend it in a bit, that will take pressure off the knee. So knee bent in, knee a little straighter, or knee horizontal. Entirely up to you. You work with whatever you got going on. So I'm gonna try to think here. So for me, this one doesn't put too much pressure on my knee, but it may for you, and that's totally fine. Adjust it according to your body's needs. If you need to pull that knee, that ankle in a bit, Just to take the pressure off your knee, feel free to do so, as long as you're feeling it in the right area. You just want to feel it in, for me, my left glute, because my left leg is forward. In about 25 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and easing off. Great, other side. Here, knee rotate out, pelvis tucked in, pushing forward. And here, avoid hyperextension, avoid any kind of arching back thing. Here, knee, core pulled in, glute squeezed. Try to feel stretch across the front of the thigh, down here, and then in the hip flexor of the back leg. Good, about 20 seconds here. Take slow, deep breaths the whole time. Slowly easing off. Okay, back to a hamstring stretch, heel dug in, leaning forwards. Go for a nice stretch right along the hamstring here. This one for at least 35, 40 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Back on that half pigeon / glute stretch. Here, I'm going to try to keep my leg parallel, but you don't have to. You work with whatever angle works for your knee and for your hip. So here again, I try to keep it as horizontal as I can, but if you need to kind of bend it in so it reaches down here, that's fine. You work with whatever you got. About 45 seconds starting now. Ten seconds left. 10, 9, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. From here, we're going to do a little bit of abdominal stretching. We're going to go for either a baby cobra or a big cobra. For those who do yoga, this will be familiar to you. We're going to lie face down. We're going to roll our shoulders back. We're trying to peel off the ground. If it's quite difficult for you to do this, you can be on your elbows and just press up as best you can. If you're able to, for me, you roll your shoulders back and fully peel off the ground, trying to push your pelvis right into the ground. You want to breathe into your stomach the whole time. Especially as you inhale, you'll feel a much deeper abdominal stretch. And you're just stretching across the abdomen for about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Easily going back down. From here, we're just going to go into a child's pose. This one's stretching out our low back and our lats. So here, knees down, shifting back, going for a nice stretch just across the lats. This one we're going to hold for about 25 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. From here, we're just go for a little bit of an oblique / low back stretch. Similar to the move windshield wipers, we're actually going to just do 1/2 of it. So hands outstretched, legs up in the air. And from here, our goal is to reach as far as we possibly can while keeping our torso, head, and shoulders on the mat. So actually, I'll show you from the other angle. So here, legs up and all the way across if you can, and then try to keep your torso, your head, both shoulders on the mat, and hands outstretched. Now, if you're not quite feeling it, you can also, of course, change the angle. So you're actually more of like a V instead of more of an L shape. But the goal here is to try to lengthen while keeping your top shoulder towards the ground. You're gonna feel a big stretch across the obliques and across the waist. So the further up you go, while trying to keep your pelvis down. So don't try to actually bring curl yourself up into a ball. See if you can naturally. You can also bend your knees. Actually, just realized if this is too much, you can also bend your knees, or you can straighten them. Entirely up to you. How you get the stretch that goes all across the side of the obliques. So about 10 more seconds here, then we're going to switch sides. The gentler version is to bend your knees. Just go for that nice, easy stretch or lower body twist. And 3, 2, 1, and then another side. So here, we can just bend our knees and twist gently, going for a nice, easy low back stretch. Or we can stick both legs out while trying to keep our head and shoulders flat on the ground. So this shoulder should still be touching the ground. No matter where your legs are, whether down here or up here. Either one's fine. Ten more seconds. 10, 9. Good. And 3, 2, 1. And from here, we're just going to go for a forward fold. This is just to stretch out our low back. So here, both feet together, just forward folding as best you can. I'm not very flexible in this position, but do your best. Just reaching for our toes, trying to stretch. You can also do this one standing if you want to. Again, I'm not very flexible, but you do standing or sitting. I'll let you choose. 25 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. All right. Coming up, we're going to go for just a couple more stretches. We're going to stand up. We're going to put our feet as wide as we can. And then just go for a nice, easy groin stretch. Trying to sink in and open up through our groin. You'll be here for about 30 more seconds. So 20 more to go. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, all right. From here, we're gonna do a little bit more upper body stretching. So one arm behind our back, going for a neck stretch. So here, my right hand is going towards my left, and my head goes towards my left as well. And 3, 2, 1, other side. So one hand behind our back, head towards the same direction. Just trying to stretch across the side of our neck, from our ear down to our shoulder. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And from here, we'll do a quick forearm stretch. You have two options. You can either put your hands in a prayer position and push your wrists down like this. That's fine. Or we're going to do this thing a little more advanced. You put your fingertips towards your knees, press your palms into the floor, and gently lean back, going for a deep forearm stretch. I'm going to hold this one for about 20 more seconds. Think slow, deep breaths the whole time. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it off. Last one here, both hands behind our back. We're just going to go for a front neck stretch. So here, I think both shoulders down, chin to sky. If you want, you can make some even like chewing motions or motions. It'll look a little funny, but I can't see you. So feel free to do it in the comfort of your own home. Chin to sky, I think posture tall. And here, if you want, you can do some chewing motions like If you want to make noises, feel free to make noises. I won't hear you. Don't overdo it though. Keep it light. If you're gonna move your jaw up and down, open, close your mouth to feel a nice stretch in the front of your neck. About 10 more seconds here. 10. And 3, 2, 1. All right, shake off whatever you have to. And thank you all who came live. And thank you all who watch us later on YouTube. Happy Canada Day. And I'll see you all next week.